Last week I shared my Valentine's Day photo project. It was all about Betty and Veronica. For it, I wanted a bright white backdrop, so I used a homemade trick that I have been doing for years to completely blow out the background, but limit the spill of light onto the subject. In this video, I'll share that trick with you. First, a white backdrop. You can see my roll paper backdrops here all rolled up against the wall, but I have also done this with a white cloth backdrop. And I have two speed lights that I set up near the backdrop on either edge. These are SB 800s. And really, you could use any number of speed lights. I have a $30 Amazon Basics flash that would work perfectly well. I typically set these to full power, and I use the attached diffuser to help spread out the light. And I put these on their little feet and I attach them to tripods or light stands. I like using tripods because I have a little bit more flexibility. I tilt them down a little bit towards the center of the backdrop, but I also position them so that they point a little bit away from the backdrop, maybe not quite 45-degree angle. Now that the flashes themselves are set up, I affix my super special homemade reflectors. These are nothing more than two mismatched pieces of cardboard. I think that they both came with prints that I ordered online. Anyway, this one is white, but this one is brown, and I just taped a piece of printer paper to it. It's bent and I should probably replace it. But I attach these to the flashes like so using bungee cords. Sometimes I have to knot them to make them the right size. It's very technical, right? And as silly as I think these actually look, they reflect the light from the flashes so that a large portion of the background is illuminated, and they prevent the spill of light onto the subject. Now, the exact placement of the lights will depend upon the size of the backdrop that you want to illuminate and the distance of your subject from your backdrop. So placement is always just going to take a little bit of experimentation in the setup process. Also, depending upon the placement of the lights and how I frame whatever it is that I'm photographing, I will occasionally have to clone out a tripod leg in post-processing. However, if I do everything right, it is super easy because the entire backdrop should be a lovely, even, super bright white. Finally, you could trigger your speed lights any way that you wish. I like to trigger mine optically using SU4 mode. That means that I have a flash on my camera turned down to a low power so that it doesn't really illuminate my subject, but there's enough light that when it flashes, when I take the photo, it triggers both the strobes, which are illuminating my subject, and my background speed lights. That's it, friends. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more from my comic book Valentine's Day photo project this year, including more details on how I set up this shoot, there is a link to it down in the description below. But really, I'd love to know if any of you have your own homegrown tricks that you use in your photography. Let me know in the comments. And happy Valentine's Day, everyone.